Hey everyone at Ballygown Youth. My name is Ben. I'm currently sitting in my spare room in my house in Saintfield, so I'm not actually too far away from all of you guys in Ballygown. I wonder what you thought of lockdown. It's definitely been tough at times, but one phrase I've heard over and over again is this: I can't wait until everything is back to normal. And that's actually what I want to think about right now, is this phrase, going against the norm. And right now, I want to inspire you to go against the norm. In fact, if it all goes really well in the next few minutes, you might even decide to do something to go against the norm. Let me explain a little bit more. So 3 objects for you: chocolate, phone, and an item of clothing. And my question to you is this: what connects all 3 of these objects together? Phone, chocolate, item of clothing. There's many answers, and they're things we all use regularly, things we enjoy using and eating, but my answer is one we maybe haven't thought about before, and that is that all 3 of those items, our chocolate, phones, our clothes, they're connected to this word slavery. Chocolate, the cocoa beans are made in Ghana by farmers living on less than $1 a day. Our phones, the metals that are used in them are mined by people in terrible conditions. And our clothes, over 152 million children are engaged in child labour to make our clothes. And so around the world today, slavery is still the norm. It's still normal. And it's kind of mad to think that it still exists. It seems like a really old-fashioned thing. So today I want to think about this theme of going against the norm, taking a stand and saying we do not want this to be normal anymore. You've already experienced how, taking a stand and doing something different is a really good thing, even if it isn't always easy. One example of this would be the Bible. It's not really normal to pick it up and to read it. Most people in our society would say that that's simply not normal. What, to pick up an ancient book, thousands of years old, and then to discuss it with your mates? Let's be honest, most people would say that's just not normal. But yet we know that there have been many times, you and I, in our own lives, when we've picked up the Bible, we've read it, and it's changed you, it's transformed you, it's made a difference in your life. Now this isn't always the case, it can be very difficult to read it sometimes, but it doesn't mean that we don't read it. And actually in the Bible, at the very beginning, God says that He made mankind, you and me, in His image. Let me say that one more time again for you, just in case you zoned out. God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female. He created them. This is big, this is massive, this is an amazing truth. Since you and me and every other person on this planet is made in the image of God, we all have such value and worth. Say that with me: value and worth. But yet we know the reality that not everyone experiences having that value and worth. In fact, around the world today, as I mentioned the word slavery, there are over 40 million people in slavery today. This is more than ever before in history. And I want to share with you a really quick story about one of these 40 million people. Her name is Esther. Esther ended up in slavery in Ghana, in the fishing industry, on a massive lake. And I'm going to share you her story in the form of a video. It's a powerful video, so watch it closely, and I'm going to finish off really quickly with some practical things for us all to do. So this is Esther's story.
Esther was born in a small village at the southern part of Volta region. The father one day had a visitor who came around and asked that they wanted somebody to stay in a different community. But the purpose was not for her to go to school, it was rather to work in the fishing industry.
Emela somebody, ya for I, let me follow Miaklon, I tomane mi tomala. Ntuvio ai toji avanemi. Garomo ntuvio melela. Meinala toji. Kake ntuvio vala. Yemagale adranya pe mo vale. Afa melela yi.
Do you know if Esther was ever abused?
Severally. Look at that, be a Ojuro Ben Ajule Fima.
After the no yoku.
Did you think you would ever get to leave that place?
No. She never liked the place. She never liked the place. There was a boy, Geoffrey, who was trafficked to that area.
We were given information by our police partners about this young man named Jeffrey. They conduct a rescue operation at that point, rescue Jeffrey, bring him back. We do a small debrief with Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's telling us all this information about the rest of the kids that are out there.
There are plenty, there are many. They should go back and rescue them too.
So it's a powerful video, and I wonder even right now, how did watching that video make you feel? You know, what kind of emotions did you have? Sad, angry, confused, surprised even? For me, when I watched it, I just felt that it was totally unfair that Esther and all those other children had to endure that. We know it isn't right, and I suppose that's what God meant when he said we're all made in his image. There's something within us that knows it's not right to be treated without value or worth. The brilliant news is that there are brilliant people and organisations who spend all their time rescuing and freeing people like Esther. In fact, Esther was rescued by an organisation, which is just amazing news. God has called us to stand against this norm. He's called us to make a stand against slavery and people like Esther being in slavery. So to finish, let me just give you some things that you can actually do. I'm going to talk about 3 things because there are loads, but the first thing I would really encourage you to do is this. The clothes that you're wearing right now, something that's really helpful is check the label on it. Have a look at the country that it was made in. Start to ask some questions. Where did it come from? Was anyone in that journey of how it was being made in slavery? We probably don't know, so it's good to find out and to think about those things. Number 2, share on social media. We spend loads of times on our phones, so let's use some of that time really, really well. I would encourage you to share about slavery, to share about things that we can do, or even go follow some organisations such as International Justice Mission on Instagram or Facebook, and they'll have some really good updates too. And the third thing is to pray. I leave this last for a reason. Jesus took time to pray when something bothered him. He went to his Father in heaven, and we can do the same, either by ourselves or together, maybe on Zoom or when we can meet together. But pray that God will be with people like Esther and others in slavery. So those are 3 things: to check the labels on our clothes, to share about slavery on social media, and to take time to pray. Guys, thanks for listening. I really hope that some of that was helpful. I hope it inspired you, and if it did inspire you, I hope that you do something. Ask yourself, what have you got? What have you got to offer, and something that you can do? Okay, so thanks for listening. I look forward to hearing what you get up to.